Please call the roll.
Ely, Godwin,
Here.
Norris.
Here.
Rogers.
Here.
Schmidt.
Here.
White. Brown.
Here. Let's all stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, thank you. Approval of the minutes. Everyone should have received a copy of the minutes from the last meeting. If there are no additions or corrections, those meetings will stand approved. Approval of the agenda.
Move to approve the agenda as submitted.
Motion by Mr. Brown to approve the agenda. Discussion? Call the roll.
Godwin.
Yes.
Norris.
Yes.
Rogers.
Yes.
Schmidt.
Yes.
Brown.
Yes.
Okay, moving on to public hearings. Anyone wishing to address council, please step forward.
I just have a couple of things. Omni Fiber stopped by my house the other day, and it wasn't trying to sell me. It wasn't to sell me anything. They said they came by to see if I was pleased with the work that they had done. So I was trying to show them the ruts that was in my yard that they had left behind, and they promised me they're going to come back in the spring and look at it. They said they weren't aware of it. I also made them aware of the fact that their guys sometimes take that metal plate off of that big, I don't know what's underneath there, and then they leave with that lid off. And we have two little kids living right beside me, and I talked to another guy. He said they did it at his house too, and they didn't show back up for over an hour, and they didn't have that cover on there. So that's going to be something dangerous if they're going to walk away and then a child falls into that. The other thing is I got to go to the the one-year celebration at Wayne Theater, and it was wonderful. They had hors d'oeuvres, and they almost had a packed house. So kudos to Mike Jones for all he did for the 1-year anniversary. And then the third thing is, have you been up at the Point down here across from Marsh and seen that mess? It is in the street. It is on the sidewalk. That isn't the first time that's happened. This happened about a month or so ago. Somebody came and told me, they said, have you seen what's going on up there at the Point? And there was actually a couch behind one of those buildings, and somebody was sleeping on it at night. And I went by it today, and it's a disaster. It is a mess. So you've seen it.
I have, yeah.
And
It is a
I don't know
mess.
who's going to clean it up, but it's right down the street. And some of that stuff is blowing down the street, so.
If I may, so we've cleaned it up twice, the city, through our trash and code enforcement. The tenant has since was evicted, I think it was Friday, and we're scheduled to clean it up again tomorrow at 7 a.m., so it should be
Okay,
taken
it
care
should
of.
be gone. Okay, I didn't know if you're aware of it. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Okay, moving on to administrative reports. Mr. Mayor.
I'm filling in tonight for Mr. Whitaker, and I have nothing. Pass.
Very good. Moving on, Safety Service Director, Mr. Dell.
Thank you, Mr. President. Just some updates on projects and some things. First, code enforcement. Code enforcement is still at the top of our priority list. It's a constant battle. Just like the Point, that's been about a 6-week process of back and forth. We've gotten a lot of voluntary compliance. We went to the courts on some of them and had some really good luck there, so it's a work in progress. Last week, I think we were at, 140 violations that we are under. Some are minor, and people take care of them, and those are the ones we like. And then some get a little more difficult, like the Point. And we have some others around town, unfortunately, but still top of our priority list and working through all of those. Out at the water plant, we're currently working with DL Tanks to get some finalized quotes to do our tank repairs out there on our clarifiers. They're original with the plant from '78, and so we're working up a proposal. They're working up a proposal for us to come in next year and revamp those tanks and get us another 25-year lifespan out of them. We're still working on, still in the design phase of the water tower east, and we still plan to bring that to council to send the bids in first quarter of 2025. We have our bid opening scheduled for our solids handling and admin project on January 22nd. So there'll be a lot more to report on that. Schweitzer Street project, the design phase is still ongoing. ODOT just finished the public comment portion. I believe the last day was Friday. So we'll be getting with them here in the next couple weeks and go through all the comments and see where or if we need to make changes on that project and take it to the next phase. We've been working with the county commissioners on our county transportation. As all of you know, we've been doing county transportation now for about 10 months. So we have some really good data on ridership and cost and things like that. So we're gonna meet with them here in the next couple weeks to try to put together a contract for them for next year for county transportation. Phase 2 sidewalks are complete. We're getting ready to start on all the invoicing for that, so people can start to see the invoicing probably January timeframe. And then we're gonna start working on getting everything together to do phase 3 of the sidewalks. Sanitary sewer lining project started. Sanitary sewer grouting project has been awarded. They haven't started, but they expect to be in town here in the next couple weeks. A little bit electrical aggregation, that program, the opt-out letters were sent out. I just want to let everyone know, some people were getting some letters this week that said they were not eligible, and after checking into them, they were eligible. So if anyone gets an opt-out letter or a letter that says they're not eligible, and most of them are reading that because they don't live in the city of Greenville, some of the kind of areas on the outskirts of town where it was close to the corporation limit where they're in, but for whatever reason, it didn't show them in on our data that we pulled. They just need to get in contact with us, and then we'll get them in contact with our supplier, and they can get that fixed up for them. And then the gas aggregation, I haven't heard a price as of yet. I should hear something though later this week, and we can get the gas aggregation cleaned up. Other than that, I will answer any questions on the ordinances and resolutions, but I will pass.
What's the company for the aggregation? City's going to
Electric Dynegy.
Dynegy.
And then, Ryan, if I may, did everything turn out good with the yellow restrooms, the yellow park during the parade and all the festivities and so forth? I mean,
Yeah.
any glitches or anything?
No, nothing major. Everything went well. We're still working on, we're having some problems with the door lock, so we're still kind of working through those so that we can keep that family restroom open all year round. But everything went well with the ribbon cutting. We've gotten, and Dark DD is extremely excited to be able to advertise that adult changing station, and everything was good with the horse parade.
The first big splash, if everything went smooth and it was appreciated. you know.
Yes, oh, absolutely. Yep,
Very good, thank you.
you're welcome.
Any other questions for Mr. Delk? If not, we'll move on to Law Director, Mr. Reaman.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Council President. The big thing that's taken up a lot of the administration's time at this stage of the year is, so we've kind of talked about before, we're in union negotiations. We're in negotiations with our 5 different union bodies. All those contracts are up. We've had some really great discussions with everybody. Is mentioned a lot of times from council, and I think acknowledged, our employees are our greatest asset. We want to make sure our employees know that. And so everybody's kind of on board of where this city's at. Everybody's been informed that we're looking at a 1-year contract, given the transition that we've been in with income tax. And so the hope is that we'll be able to continue those negotiations and actually have some contracts for you guys to approve potentially as soon as the next meeting. So that kind of segues into the next topic a little bit. given the numbers that we have here tonight, we don't have the numbers in council to suspend the rules, so we'll only be able to do the first reading of all the legislation. But as we do get to the end of the year, passing legislation becomes a fairly big issue for us so that we can get everything in place that we need. So we'll just ask all of you to kind of work with your schedules. We may be needing to schedule some additional meetings just so we can get some things passed and read in. Any meeting that we do schedule has to have at least 24 hours notice. So with that, please be patient and kind of work with us. And with that, I'll take any questions anybody has.
All right, thank you. Moving on, Auditor, Mrs. Davis.
Thank you, Mr. President. I will pass this evening unless anyone has a question.
All right, thank you. Moving on, committee reports. We don't have anything there, okay. Moving on then to ordinances and resolutions. Like Mr. Raymond said, we'll just be giving the first reading only tonight on these. So the first one is a resolution for the Safety Service Director to enter into contract.
A resolution authorizing the Safety Service Director to enter into contract with Lake County Sewer Co. Inc. for the rendering of manhole rehabilitation. This resolution authorizes the Safety Service Director to enter into contract with Lake County Sewer for the rendering of manhole rehabilitation.
All right, moving on. Number 2, a resolution, Safety Service Director enter into contract.
A resolution authorizing the Safety Service Director to enter into contract with Lake County Sewer Co. Inc. for the rendering of chimney sealing. This resolution authorizes the Safety Service Director to enter into contract with Lake County Sewer for the rendering of chimney sealing.
Okay. Number 3 is a resolution authorizing the Safety Service Director to apply for a water pollution loan fund agreement.
A resolution authorizing the Safety Service Director to apply for, accept, and enter into a water pollution control loan fund agreement on behalf of the City of Greenville, Ohio for planning, design, and/or construction of wastewater facilities and designating a dedicated repayment source for the loan. This resolution authorizes the Safety Service Director to apply for a water pollution control loan fund agreement with the Ohio Environmental Protection Agency and the Ohio Development Authority for the planning, design, and/or construction of wastewater facilities in Greenville.
Okay. Number 4 is an ordinance dealing with water and sewer rates.
An ordinance amending certain rates and ordinances relating to water and sewer fees and utilities billing. This ordinance increases water and sewer rates for the City of Greenville by 3% effective March 1st, 2025. Additionally, the shut-off fee will be increased from $20 to $50. This increase will add approximately $1.54 to each monthly bill.
Okay. Number 5 is a resolution for an invoice for Layfelds.
A resolution authorizing a then and now certificate for Layfield Industrial and Welding. This resolution authorizes a then and now certificate for the Layfield Industrial and Welding invoice in the amount of $2,182.10.
Okay. Number 6 is a resolution. This is another invoice for Lippman Thomas.
A resolution authorizing a then and now certificate for Lippman Thomas Agency. This resolution authorizes a then and now certificate for the Lippman Thomas Agency invoice in the amount of $14,975.33.
Okay. Number 7 is a supplemental ordinance.
An ordinance to make additional appropriations for current expenses and other expenditures of the City of Greenville, State of Ohio during the fiscal year ending December 31st, 2024. The supplemental ordinance allows for appropriations in the General Fund and Ohio Opioid Settlement Fund in the sum as follows. Office supplies treasurer in the amount of $375. These funds are needed for the 2025 bond renewal for the city treasurer. New equipment fire in the amount of $15,044.60. These funds were a donation from the Ohio BWC Safety Intervention Grant and will be used to purchase new extrication equipment. Office supplies Ohio Opioid Settlement in the amount of $2,500. These funds were donated by Zucker Bailey Funeral Home for the Shop the Cop event.
And number 8 is a transfer ordinance.
An ordinance for the transfer of funds among the appropriations of the various funds of the City of Greenville. This transfer ordinance authorizes transfers in the General Fund and Healthcare Fund in the sum as follows. $6,740 from Uniform Allowance Police to Office Supplies Police. These funds are needed to cover an unemployment claim for a previous employee. $2,900 from Stop Loss Healthcare to RX Claims Healthcare. These funds are needed to cover admin fees until the end of 2024.
Okay, moving on, nothing under old business, anything under new business?
No.
Okay. Our council representative, or outside committee of Council on Aging.
That's Dolores.
Okay, she's not here. Communications, we have a zoning recommendation.
Honorable members of council, at the November 19, 2024 Planning and Zoning Commission meeting, the topic of recreational marijuana dispensaries was discussed. This was discussed during regular sessions and a work session. Members approved a motion to make a recommendation to City Council to extend the current moratorium indefinitely. Sincerely, Ryan Delk, Planning and Zoning Commission member.
Where does that go from here then?
So from here, we'll set it for a public hearing again and then have legislation prepared.
Very good, very good, thank you. Okay, call down the council.
Godwin?
Rob, you did a good job decorating downtown, and Jessica, you did a good job going through that tonight. And thanks everybody for coming, and I'll pass.
Norris?
Other than the cold weather, right, guys? Yeah, the downtown looked fantastic. I think the parade went well, and the crowd was handled beautifully down there. And thanks, Chief Benji, you know, just everything seemed to flow with that many people in town for that short a time span. Worked very well. And with that, I will pass.
Rogers?
Yeah, I've had several comments about the downtown area. They've done a super job, and kudos to the department, street department for doing all that, and all the others that took place helped out with getting the tree in town and set up and so forth. So everything looks great. I'll pass.
Schmidt?
I'm going to pass tonight.
Brown?
Sound like a broken record, but downtown looks wonderful. Always does, though. Everybody does a great job. So, Chief Benji, I wanted to, extend a congrats, a good job, just to the interaction with the public. Your guys is new and maybe not new, but just very prevalent out there on social media, and I think it's great. I think getting the public familiar with you guys, obviously support means everything to, especially to the police nowadays, and so the more we can get that, the better. So looking forward to all the future stuff you can do. So with that, I pass.
Move to adjourn.
Motion by Mr. Rogers to adjourn. Discussion? Call the roll?
Godwin?
Yes.
Norris?
Yes.
Rogers?
Yes.
Schmidt?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
All right, thank you.